Good morning, everyone. Hope all of you are doing well. This morning we have, it's afternoon. I'm sorry. It's afternoon. Oh my goodness, what a day. We have in our midst a beautiful human, Miss Duquesa D. She's going to tell us a bit about herself, what she does, how we can get in contact with her, what all product services that she often provides so that we can be a part. Listen, knowledge is power. And like we talked about the other day, it's who you're connected to. You'll be surprised to know who you are connected to within your very circle. Sometimes you don't have to go all around the Mayberry bush. You have persons right in your circle that you can have a conversation with, get to know them, and see how they can impact you, vice versa. So without further ado, let's welcome Miss Dean.
Hey, Tamika. Hi, everyone out there. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today's live. I love the fact that you called me a beautiful human.
Yes!
Like that was really cool. I love that because it means inside and outside,
Yes, it
right?
does.
It's not just about physical appearance.
Yes.
And so I'm really excited to be here to have this conversation with you and to have this conversation with those who are watching the live feed.
Awesome, wonderful. So I've been following you, and listen, you have blessed me in so many ways. And I love when you do your pop-ups and your little motivational speeches. But it's more than just your motivational speech. That's something that you do for a living. So tell us a bit more how you got started and how it came to be as it now is.
Well, and I do so many things. I can tell you maybe about 16 years ago, right? 16. This journey has been ongoing for quite some time. And 16 years ago, I was working with a mentor, and he asked me what did I want for my future. And at the time that he asked me that question, Tamika, I really didn't know. I was living a pretty routine life, just getting up every day, going to work, I just felt like a hamster on this wheel, doing the same things over and over, feeling quite unfulfilled. And when he asked that question, I didn't know how to answer him. And so he invited me to take the opportunity to really think about what I wanted to do with my life. And so 16 years ago, I said that I wanted to have a group of companies. And as you can see today, I'm wearing a shirt that says Duquesa D Group of Companies. And believe it or not, before I had the very first company, I had a plan that I would have these companies.
Yeah.
And so 16 years ago, I made the decision that I would be an entrepreneur and that I would have a group of companies under my umbrella. And that's how my journey started. As you may or may not be aware, 16 years ago, I actually was sitting on my bathroom floor with a bottle of juice and a bottle of tablets. I sat on a cold bathroom floor, white tiles, feeling the cold against my skin and sitting there contemplating taking my life. I sat there and I was like, you know what, God, it's been 30 years of trial and error, tribulations. And what I realized is that that was as a result of the choices that I had made for my life, that those choices had taken me to the point of sitting on my bathroom floor, really ready to tap out on life. And there were two things that saved me. First of all, I remembered that I had two small kids. So my daughter was 5 and my son was 3 at that time. And also when I looked up in the light fixture, I just happened to look up in the light fixture. And as I looked up in the light fixture, these rays were streaming down. And they reminded me of when the cloud breaks after rain. And you see that streaming down. And usually in movies, when the voice of God is talking, that's what we see. Yeah. And so in that moment, I was reminded that God was with me. And so I got up off my bathroom floor. I made a decision that I would find a better way of life for me and for my children. And 2 days later, a business executive approached me and asked me if I would allow him to mentor me. And so at first I was like, no, man, this dude just wants some of my cookie.
Of course.
And then I was like, you know what? You're already at rock bottom. How much worse could it get?
Yeah.
And that was perhaps the best yes of my life.
Wow.
Because as a result of working with that business mentor, my entire life has totally transformed.
Awesome.
And I began the path of that inner healing, of finding a vision for my life, of identifying how I wanted to make a difference in my family, in my community, in the world. I was able to find out the type of parent that I wanted to be to my kids. I came into living a much more purpose-driven life as a result of working with him. Now, it wasn't overnight.
Of course not.
It wasn't overnight, and I still made mistakes along the way. But the beauty is I had a mentor and a coach that was helping to guide me. And with his guidance, I actually created Duquesa D and group of companies. Awesome. And so what do? I am a corporate trainer. I work with small businesses, helping them to establish policies and procedures, handbooks. I do consultancy to help them with customer service, leadership skills. I also train on those topics. I offer public trainings, as well as I go into organizations and do trainings at those organizations. Awesome. I work with women who have had traumatic experiences, because I've had many. And so I'm the director of an organization called The Power of Her. And we have an annual women's conference every year.
Awesome.
We have dynamic speakers come in, and we actually, on an ongoing basis, provide tips and tidbits, motivation and encouragement to those women. I work with a cancer support group. I'm president of a cancer support group after my mom passed. They threw me in this position. And so I lead a cancer support group for women. I also have a youth organization where I work with young people along with my team, Transition Mentorship Program. We work with young people, helping them to build self-esteem, helping them to learn how to make good choices, helping them to fight depression and suicide. And so I actually also bake, but I don't do so much of the baking. It's called decadence, but I am not so involved in baking anymore because my time is really split more across the other platforms that I just shared.
Wow.
I'm also a motivational speaker and a transformational coach.
Wow. Do you have time to sleep?
Barely. But amazingly enough, by 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, I'm in bed. Okay. And so it's really time management for me. And I designate certain days to work in certain organizations. And I don't work alone. In the cancer support group, Jenny, the Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group, we have an administrative team. In my youth organization, Transition Mentorship Program, we have a committee as well that helps with the organization of our group mentoring and our various events. And so I have assistance in those areas.
Awesome, wonderful. Hearing your story, it's so amazing and it's so powerful, because out of everything that you've been through, birth your purpose.
Absolutely.
And nothing is more powerful than when you've been through something that you can share. Yes. You can relate to somebody else. For someone that is on the verge of committing suicide or thinking about it, you can say to that person, listen, I know what it is to be there. I know what it is to sit down and you can't even think straight. You can't even say that, listen, it's going to be a tomorrow, because at that very present moment, you don't see anything else but just pure darkness, death.
Yes.
You lose focus of everything. And for someone to come and just relate to say, listen, I've been there. I know how it is. It's a process that you have to go through.
Yes.
So you don't have to walk it alone. You don't have to go through it alone, but I am here. And sometimes that's all we need. It's just that one person that we can relate to and say, listen, I am here for you. I understand what you're going through. And even in today's world, society, our country today, we have so many persons are walking around contemplating it, and we'll be surprised to know who they are. They're hiding what they're going through, putting on the daily mask.
That's the truth.
And, we need more organization. And I'm learning this. The more I have these interviews, the more I'm learning about people that are actually doing it and not just doing it for the money and the publicity.
Yes.
They're sincerely doing it. They're sincerely caring about the need and the concerns of these persons, and I think that's what I'm kind of gearing towards, just bringing more awareness to it, because there are a lot of persons that are hurting, that are going through financial crisis, that have abusive relationship. They're in, they can't get out, they don't know what to do. And a lot of times people will come, they see you doing stuff, and they come and they ask you, well, I need something to do. I need somewhere to go. I don't, and me personally, because I've not been in that, I don't know what to say,
Okay.
you know?
Right.
And so by me connecting now with you and other persons, listen, don't worry. I know somebody who you can
Yes,
talk to.
absolutely,
You know?
absolutely.
And the thing is, you know, one of the things that most persons fear is confidentiality.
Yes, very
That's a
true.
big thing.
Very true.
So, you know, being in the arena that you're in, how do you convince someone that's been through everything and then some that you can trust me?
Well, that's relationship building. You know, when I meet with my clients in our very first meeting, it's just discovery. We're just finding out about each other, talking about likes and dislikes, and just really trying to establish a connection. The chat for me, there has to be that connection because if you don't trust me as a coach, then it doesn't make sense to have the coaching relationship because you'll second guess everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I just take the time to spend with my clients initially, letting them get to know me a bit, me finding out more about them, what their needs are. And the only way that we know if that trust is going to be broken is if we try it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And most coaches live by a code of ethics. Most coaches live by the fact that when we share or when our clients share with us, that information stays with us. Now, I'll tell you, there have been times when I've shared in general that I've had clients that dealt with particular situations without giving details of that
Mm-hmm.
situation. So other people, they're not alone,
Right.
but never in a way that discloses who the person is
Mm-hmm.
and what their personal situation is. I mean, we have to develop that trust.
Yeah.
That's the only way our clients will really open up to us and share what's going on in their lives.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
And I can tell you, like, the first 30 years of my life, I'll say from the age of 13 to 30, what I recognize is that I sat in darkness a lot because I wanted to pave my own way. I sat in darkness a lot because I wanted to do it of my own accord. I wanted to find my success off my own accord. And when I say that, I mean, you know, I'm doing it now in my strength and in my might, but I'm also doing it being guided by a God that created me. So God was not in the equation in those years. It was all about me, what I was good at, what I could do. It was all about me. And when I sat in that darkness, I realized that I was in the darkness because I had excluded God. And the light for me at the end of my tunnel and the light that continues to guide me is recognizing that God created me and recognizing that He created me to fulfill this purpose. And so now I firmly believe that all things work together for my good. Like, even if it's bad, it's going to ultimately work out for my good.
Yeah.
And I've proven it because in the darkness in those years, I could not understand the purpose of life. I could not understand why I was created. I could not understand, you know, what I mean, just what's the sense in living. But it wasn't until I made that connection again with God, all of my experiences made sense.
Yeah.
And so we go through the darkness to help equip us and to prepare us for what it is we've been predestined to fulfill. And for me, that's my guiding light now.
And that and it still goes back to like what we said earlier. When the things that we go through help us to be more prepared for the things that are gonna come our way, for the persons that are gonna come our way. So you not only have the knowledge, but you have the experience.
Yes.
And so that's also powerful and helpful, you know, because like we said, a lot of times person are walking around and, you know, their bodies are here, but their minds are not.
Absolutely.
And so for persons that are listening to it now or that are going to listen to it later on during the course of the day or tomorrow or whenever, you know, you're not alone. There's always someone that is available for you to talk to. And the thing is that, you know, you have to make up in your mind that you want to do it.
Yes.
You want to do it. It's useless, Miss Dean, is reaching out to you and you're continually pulling up your wall. We can't get help if you continue to put up the wall. You can't be able to move from that place to a better place if you don't at least try. You know, so there are places that are available that are willing to help, there are people that are sincerely concerned about our well-being, you know, and it's not easy at times because, you know, people deal with a lot of hurt, whether it's in relationships, it's on the job, in church and
Family,
families,
yes,
you know, so you have all of that balled up, and then
yeah,
you're wondering, like, you know, who can I trust?
yeah,
You know, but my advice is be God led.
yeah. And that's important.
Yes.
That's really
You know,
important.
once you know who you are and whose you are, you don't even have to profess Christianity. You know, and it's so funny because for the persons that even don't even acknowledge Christ, the anything that happens to them, who's the first person they call?
God.
Oh my God. God, I need you. So you know who
that a God exists.
that.
You know that a God exists.
Yes.
And that's the power in choice, you know, Tamika. We choose consciously or we choose by default. Because
Yes.
if we choose to acknowledge that there is a God, that's a choice that we've made.
Mm-hmm.
And if we choose not to make a conscious decision in God or forces of evil by default, we are choosing the forces of evil. To exist in a godless world is like being in the wilderness and being in the desert, right? And you made such important points because people, in my experience, people want instantaneous results.
Mm-hmm.
People want
Mm-hmm.
us to pop it in the microwave and a
Mm-hmm.
week later they're
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not how life happens. If it
No.
takes 30 years of crap to get you to a place of brokenness, it's not going to take a month or 3 months to clear that up. That takes a process. And I'm going to be very transparent. It took me 10 years. It took me 10 years of consistently learning about who I was as a person and loving who I am.
Mm-hmm.
It took 10 years of me working with a coach who saw my potential when I didn't see it and who said, you know what, you can do more, you are more, you're able to do more. It took 10 years of me challenging myself out of beliefs that I had already conditioned myself to.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just doesn't happen easily. It is, however, possible. And people drop out of getting help or coaching relationships or mentor relationships because they're not getting the results as quickly as they'd like. Results come when we work.
Yes.
Results,
you have to put in the work.
You have to put in the work. Results come as a result of work. And that work has to be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy. I don't want anybody to believe that it's easy to confront the lies that we tell ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to confront the patterns that we consistently choose in our lives. It's not easy to accept that we are the people doing the things that are causing the drama and the trauma and all that sort of stuff inside our lives. And there are times when we're innocent. There are times when, you know, we may have been 12 and 13 and an adult has been inappropriate with us and have taken advantage of our youthfulness, right? There are times when the circumstances are out of our control. I absolutely agree. When we get to the point of consciousness of understanding that, you know what happened to me happened and it was not right, it still comes back to us to make a choice to heal from that situation and move forward. Because if we don't do that, that situation where someone else had control, they will keep control over us. And so it's really important that even when we are placed in situations where we don't have as much control as we do, we don't have control over that particular situation, but we have control over how we move forward from those things in our lives.
That is so true. That is so true. And so with the work that you're doing now for persons who may know someone or even themselves want to say, listen, I need help. How can we get in contact with you? Where are you located? What is the first thing that I need to do, or besides admitting that I need help and trying to find somebody to you know?
Well, there are a number of ways to reach me. My website is duquesad.com, and there is a contact me page there. You fill that out with your name, your telephone number, and I just ask you for your comments. Tell me what you need. I get that prompt, and I'll pick up the phone and give you a call. I will reply by email to ask for a convenient time for us to be able to connect. I'd like to encourage people with young children who they can see symptoms, because symptoms show up. You know, we act out in certain ways when things happen in our lives. So if there's a young person in your life that you see acting out or being different from what they usually are, Transition Mentorship Program is there to help. We're on Facebook. Check out our Facebook page. You'll see the wonderful work that we do. Most of our programs are free for young people up to age 18. We, as a matter of fact, this coming Saturday, we have My Daddy and Me, which is an event to help daddies and daughters bond, but also it's open to godparents and goddaughters, uncles, brothers, those who don't have their fathers in their lives. The male in their lives, who is the role model, comes out with them. We provide a free dinner. We provide activities. The ladies get roses from their dads or their guardians. The gentlemen get gifts from their daughters or their wards, and this is all absolutely free. And on August 10th, we have something called Man Up. It is an all boys etiquette session. Ooh. And it teaches them how to transition from boy to teenage to man. Awesome. So all of the things that come up, what do I do with this hair? What do I do with my voice changing? How do I deal with waking up in the morning and I have this hard thing that I didn't go to sleep with, right. And so we help them to understand how to go through the changes. Awesome. And so Transition Mentorship Program helps to build self-esteem, character. We work group mentoring once a month. A group mentoring session geared towards helping young people be the best that they can be. So find us on Facebook. Awesome. Look at what we do. If you have a cancer survivor in your life, listen to me carefully. The greatest thing that helps a cancer survivor pull through is support. A supportive environment and a great attitude. So if there's a cancer survivor in your life, listen, hit us up on Facebook as well. GD Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group. We meet every third Wednesday of the month at the Meeting Lounge. Our meetings are open to anyone. This is anyone who has cancer, who survived cancer, and even caretakers, as well as people who have lost loved ones who once battled the disease. And so we want to support these. Listen, these ladies live, they love, and they laugh. We do amazing things. At our last meeting, we actually had Jay Donovan Roll from J Fitness come in and teach the ladies about movement and why movement is important and safe movement for their body, how to exercise in a way that protects the body and it doesn't, impact them in any negative way. We have had people come in to talk about food choices and how the food fuels the disease. We've had people come in and we've had a cooking class. I mean, we do so many fun things at the Cancer Support Group to help the women understand that they're not alone. They're with like-minded people and they are supported. Yeah. If you are a young lady out there, and when I say young lady, I'm talking anywhere from 16 to 65. Listen, the power of her is where you want to be. Find us on Facebook. The power of her helps women who have gone through traumatic experiences, but we also help the woman who's hungry to be confident, who's hungry to be to accept themselves. We have amazing people helping. Raquel Clark, Simone Bo, she is the Limitless Life Coach. At our conference this year, we had Pastor Mario Moxie come in from Bahamas Harvest Church. Awesome. We actually had Harrison come in to talk to the women about the power of relationships and why they shouldn't settle. This is like no flux, right? On this coming Monday, we launch Empowering Queens TV. Woo! And so this TV show is all about dealing with anxiety, how to really deal with anxiety. And we're featuring Antonia Lifeon from NU Media. Yes! So listen, if you just need support, find our Facebook page. If you don't want to come out, the videos are there. The everyday posting is there to encourage and to motivate you. And so the opportunity to reach me is pretty easy. Any of those platforms. As a matter of fact, you can even go to Facebook and find Duquesa D. And hey, anything and in any way that I can help, I'm more than willing to do so.
Awesome, wonderful. And you touched on something that it kind of brought something back to me. A friend of mine was talking about when you're dealing with grief of a loss of a loved one. A lot of times persons are so close to that loved one that has passed, they then take on the whole thing and everything, whether it's the sickness, the depression, everything, and they're not realizing it. So how do we help someone that's taking on everything from that person and still try to listen? They then go and let them go. You're still here.
Listen, that's
but how do you help them to cope with it? And
it's not easy. Let me say that it's not easy. Well, first of all, when their loved one is alive, they've taken that battle on themselves, right? And so as their loved one is suffering, they're feeling every emotion. They're feeling sad that they can't do more. They can't take some of that pain. They're being the caretaker and they're nurturing. And so many emotions come up as a result of that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
There's love, there's resentment, there's anger, there's compassion. All of those things come up. And so when that person dies now, there's a big void because now this person has been a real staple in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that person is gone. And the grieving process could take years. It can take years. I can tell you my mom died in 2017 and I'm still turning my car to go in the direction of her house. And so some of the things that I encourage people to do is one, find a support group, find support, find other people who understand what you're feeling, because in the middle of that support, you're going to have people who are empathetic, who can give you an encouraging word, someone that you can hang out with and be with while you miss your loved one. You have a partner in your life or a buddy in your life who can help hold your hand and walk. If you are in the position where you're mourning, cry, feel your emotions. Mm-hmm. As you think about that person and you're feeling the loss, cry it out, release it, let it go, feel it. I think about the wonderful memories I had with my mom. I think about all the good times. I think about the fact that she really enjoyed her life. And I kind of reframe. And in our support group, we teach reframe. Like, instead of focusing on the fact that that person is no longer here, mm-hmm. we focus on the good that person did while they were here, the impact that they made in their family and their community. Is if you see that 6 months has passed and you're not starting to progress, professional help is needed. Okay. Right? Because the biggest part of dealing with grief is accepting. When we don't want to accept that this person is no longer here and we're holding on, mm-hmm. it weighs mm-hmm. us. So we have to accept that, you know what, this is a situation that just can't be changed. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. And so we accept it. And in acceptance, it means that we have to let go. But we're not letting go of the person. We're letting go of the fact that they're not here and we're honoring them. You could also create a ritual, right, that mm-hmm. helps you on an annual basis to honor who that person is. And so for us, the ritual for my mom is a jazz concert that we do every October. She died October 12th. So on that holiday weekend, we do a jazz concert. Yeah. And that jazz concert is a way that we remember her. And so all of the women who have died, who have been in our support group, when we have events like our tea party, like the jazz event, we actually remember them at those events and honor the fact that they were able to live, to love, and to laugh. Yeah. And so, you find a ritual that you can do even in your home. The way that I remember my mom at Christmas time is by, in our family, giving a gift for someone who wants to go on an entrepreneur journey. So I give you we give a start. Like in the years before, we gave one of our family members a generator because she runs a stand outside. So now you could do snow cones. Now you could do popcorn, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so it helps to honor my mom, and it also helps someone else in the process. So there are things that we can do to honor our loved ones when they pass.
Awesome, wonderful. And then I had another question and you answered it. How do you just get over it or just moved on? Because regardless that you're trying and you're just overwhelmed with the grief and the sadness and the hurt, person still for some reason, like how they say when you'll know when someone's on the way out, they kind of see the persons or talk to the persons that have gone before. And so now you're in the process of, after the person is now gone, and you still find yourself talking to the person as if they were still there. But, like if for someone looking at you like, no, hold on. hold on. Who are you talking to? But then for you, it's not as if you're like literally going out of your mind. No. But that's one way of kind of coping.
Yes, it is.
So you're not talking to them directly to say that, right? Yeah, but like you said, a ritual. That's what you used to do,
right? So
you would say, okay, Mom, you're sitting here, I'm sitting here. Today was a long day, and sometimes that is It's
it
therapeutic.
releases. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can journal, right? You can also journal. I used to talk too, like I because I said to one of my mom's friends, he's actually a Reverend Carl, Carl Campbell. I said to him that I miss my mom so much and I wish that I could talk to her. And he was like, why don't you? Like, she may not be able to answer you, but the funniest thing is when I used to do it, because I don't do it anymore, but when I used to do it in the earlier days, her words would come back to me. Like, we'd have this conversation, I'd be like, okay, so this is what's going on. And then I would hear like something that I know she would say in response. So yeah, it's pretty okay to do that, and it's okay to journal. As a matter of fact, journaling really helps you to take your emotions out of your mind and the thoughts out of your mind and to clear it and to write it out. Right?
Yeah.
Write love letters to the person that's gone as well. There are many ways. It's just not easy. Death is a part of life, and we deal with it consistently, but we're never prepared for it. Even when a person is sick and dying and we can see it, we're never prepared for it because the void is just ever present, always there. And so we have to learn how to just accept it and how to cope until we're at a place where we can just continue living our lives. Now, Ms. Raming, I don't know which organization you're referring to. We've been talking about transition mentorship program for young people. We've been talking about the GD Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group for cancer survivors, caretakers, and those who mourn. So I don't know which of those you're referring to, or we're talking about the Power of Her, which is for women who are ready to take their lives to another level.
Yeah. And speaking also about Ms. Raming, she has an organization where it's called the G2 Girls. And what it is, it's women just coming together that have had hard times, that have been through some stuff, that just need a break.
Yeah.
And so what it is, we come together, sit, have dinner. You're not worrying about the kids, the husband, the job. You're not worrying about anything or anyone. That moment is just
yours. Yes. I love it.
So you're just releasing everything and not worrying about anything at all. And so with that, you have persons that either will share their story and it would be an encouragement to you. So as you come full, you're being emptied at the door. You're being encouraged to empty at the door. So when you come into this setting, you're being filled up now with fresh, with a refreshing new start to go back out there and pick up what you left off and say, okay, I'm going to do this and sort through this. And you have a clearer mindset. And I think that is so important because regardless that many of us have the same concept, the same ideas, it's so many persons that still need to hear it, still need to be a part, still needs to be targeted and just bring together as a whole. And one of the things that I like to do is I have a passion for people. I love helping people, encouraging people, empowering people anywhere I can. And a lot of times, regardless that I know what you're going through, I'm going through either the same thing. So sometimes you get to a place where it's hard because you're having a moment and you don't want to be bothered and you don't want nobody call your name. You don't want, can I just be real?
You can be real.
You don't want to have to deal with anything, any other issues. Person's coming to you, I going through this, I need this and this. When you're going through something, and it's in that time that I've learned that is when God uses you the most. Because you like we said earlier, when you go through something, it's not really for you.
It's just not for you. It's to equip you. And listen, even in those moments when we say, you know what, I have my own problems, because trust me, as a coach and as someone who is out there helping other people, there are moments when I'm overloaded. And when I'm overloaded, this is what I say to myself: to whom much is given, much is required. And so I need to understand that it is a requirement of me, that it's a requirement that God has placed on me to be able to share my experiences and help other people come from the darkness into the light. But I also understand that it is a responsibility for me to take care of myself. And so I have to make sure that I have downtime. And so I have to make sure that, my clients understand that between these hours, you will get an immediate response. If you are in a crisis situation, then yes, I'm going to respond immediately if I see that what you sent me is like really crisis, right?
Yeah.
And then what I do too is I schedule. I have not done a good job of honoring it this year, and I recommitted myself every 3 months to take a 4-day weekend. Take a 4-day weekend where I can replenish myself, because if I don't replenish myself, I cannot be effective in the work that I do. And so last year I did a very good job. Every 3 months I've taken Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I go to a family island. I go off island. I shut down completely. One of the things that I love to do is to sit on a desolate island on a desolate beach on a family island, because it's there when it's quiet that I can listen and I can hear and I can see better, right? And so we have to learn how to take care of ourselves as we take care of other people as well.
That's true. You can't be effective to somebody else if you're...
Yes.
So we just have to learn how to find that balance.
Yes. I mean, and there's never a true balance. We're just going to be honest and real. There's never a true balance. We can carve out and create time and moments to refill ourselves, but that's not going to be every week.
No,
it's not going to be every week. Now I'll tell you, the way that I try to inject that time for me, I don't turn the radio on in my car. And so I drive in silence. That's for me, that's now a downtime. So that's time for me to clear my mind as I move from one place to another. If you come to my house, you need silence, right? Unless my granddaughter has the TV on watching something, you usually just need silence, because it's also in that space, in the silence and in the quiet, I'm releasing.
Yeah.
I'm releasing. So it's that releasing is a constant and a consistent. But true balance is never really achieved, which is why it's important that we have to be intentional about creating safe spaces for ourselves.
And that there is so important, because when you are dealing with so much, you sometimes, if you're not careful, you take on the person, your client's situation, and you get consumed by it, and then you kind of get thrown off, So when it comes to that, how do you not get too attached emotionally?
Boy, that is a powerful question, right? Now, last year I took on a new coach, and I know people say, but you're a coach. But yes, and the way that I remain effective is by being coached by people who are further along the coaching journey that I am, right? So I took on a new coach last year, and I said, boy, I'm not really a fan of individual coaching. I love group coaching, right? Which is why I'm doing Sister Stand Up Again on the 13th of July. It's a group of 20 women, right?
Okay.
So I love that type of environment. But the one-on-one was challenging me, because as I listen to you, I take your problems on, and I want to see results. After our coaching experience, when you come the next week now, I want to see the results. And sometimes people just didn't do anything, right? And my coach said to me, she said, Duquesa, you have to detach yourself from the results. So you can care, you can help, you can guide, and your job is done. So now the person that you're working with and you're coaching, it's their responsibility to take it up and to take action and to do what they have committed to doing. Because at the end of every coaching interaction that I have, there's homework. And so you walk away knowing that you have the next few things to do. And she said, Duquesa, if you coach someone over, let's say, a 3-4 week period, and you see that the person is not ready to take action, you have to let them know. You have to let them know that, listen, I don't want to keep taking your money. It makes me feel bad to take your money and not help you get results. So if you're not ready to take the action steps, let's switch from a coaching relationship, and you touch bases with me every so often. And when you're ready, and we can pick it up, right? But sometimes we get too attached to the result, because we want to see people do what we want for their lives. And as we're coaching people, we have to realize that they're in it. They're living it every day. So let's just say it's a domestic situation, and we're saying, why doesn't this person just leave? It's not so simple to just pick up and leave. There's a history attached.
Yeah.
There may be children.
Yeah.
There may be assets, right?
Yeah.
And so that's going to take some time, because now that person has to totally reshift the way that they think. Because in domestic situations, people are thinking, it's me. I'm the reason why he is hitting me. I'm the reason, it's because I did this. Well, he's usually a calm person, so it had to be something that I do. We switch it. And so we blame ourselves for what is happening to us. And that takes a whole reshift and a rebranding and a reframing of the way that you think in order to help a person come through that. So as a coach, we also have to understand that it's not going to be instantaneous. Some processes take longer than others.
Yeah.
We can continue to guide, but we have to understand that the person that we're coaching has the greatest responsibility for taking the action.
So my next question, I know you probably know where this one coming from. So what happens to those persons that get attached to you, that build that trust in you, that say, listen, okay, you get me, you understand me, you see what I need to do, how I need to do it, and I'm able to do it because of you. So now they're latching on to you.
Right.
And you now have to say, okay, you can't hold on to me forever and a day. You have to now apply what we've talked about and just make steps to get on your own 2 feet, to stand and to move forward. What happens when they don't want to let go of you?
Well, there's no choice, right? Because what happens when you enter a coaching relationship or you're trying to help someone, you're mentoring someone, based on what your initial assessment is, you determine now, yes, we need weekly sessions, right? And so as you begin your weekly sessions and you see they're progressing and they're moving, as you watch that progress and you watch the movement, it's the coach's responsibility to now say, okay, well, you're doing well here. Let's not do weekly. Let's do every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And so we do every 2 weeks. And as that person continues to move, you know what, you're doing such a great job. Let's go once a month. And so you begin to wean, just how you wean a child off a bottle. You can't just drop a client. And so as you wean a child off of a bottle, you wean your coaching relationship as well. So now we don't need to meet every week. Let's meet every other week. You're doing such a great job. How about we meet every month? And now let's just meet once every quarter. But because we're not physically getting together, doesn't mean I'm out of reach. So if you want to brainstorm an idea, if there's something that you're not sure how to take, listen, pick up the phone, give me a call. If I'm available, we talk. If not, I call you back, right? So it's not like you're just abandoning the person. They can still access you, but that access is now longer than the initial period.
Right, which gives them time to just build confidence.
Correct.
And
see that they can do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome, wonderful. Oh my goodness. Listen, we are here with Miss Dean, and listen, oh my God, it's just such a wealth of knowledge. And like we were talking about, you're not alone. If you know someone that's going through hard times, an issue, whether it's abusive, whatever the issue is, there are persons that are willing to help, that are doing a phenomenal job. And a lot of times, some people just don't know. And
I can tell you a quick little story. There's a young lady who approached me for coaching. She actually attended the Power of Her in maybe our first year, because this year is our third year.
Okay.
And she reached out to me for some coaching, and she said she reluctantly reached out to me because somebody warned her not to interact with me, right? And so a couple of months later, she's like, "Why, Duquesa, you turned out to be nothing like what the person said that you were."
Wow.
And that's why it's so important that we are careful of what we say about other people. And secondly, and it's also important that we get to know people for ourselves as well, because I
agree.
And we have to understand the motives sometimes that other people have. Sometimes they don't want to see us get better. Sometimes they enjoy having the control that they do and the access that they do to us. And when we begin to grow, when we begin to shift now, it kind of moves us away from them. I really smiled at that experience because I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away, but I was glad that she was able to share that she had gotten that particular type of, you know what, don't deal with that person. And for me, it just really solidified that the work that I do is important.
Yeah.
And it also reminded me that, again, I'm not doing what I'm doing on my own accord. Like, I'm doing what I'm doing based on, first of all, the gifting that God has deposited in me. And secondly, because of the instruction that I'm being given by God.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to know, Tamika, that so many doors have opened for me. Like, I've done nothing. When I came into my purpose, and after I did those 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I began to equip myself, listen to me, so many doors have opened that I didn't even turn the knob to see if the door was locked or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so God has guided me. He's directed me. He has helped me beyond anything that I could have done for myself, which
Mm-hmm.
made me realize that I sat in the darkness for so long because I was relying on me.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started to listen to the voice of God, and when I started to be obedient, I used to have dreams. I had dreams about transition mentoring program for 2 years. I had dreams about writing my first book. And I was like, no way, buddy, I ain't doing it. I was like, I am not doing it, because what you are asking me to do is to put my life out there in print. I said, I am not doing it. Tamika, I was haunted for a year.
Wow.
And you know when the haunting stopped? When I wrote the book. It wasn't until I wrote the book. And so I'm not ever concerned about where I'm going. I'm never concerned about, I'm just not concerned about that, because the work that I do isn't for me.
Yeah.
It's just not for me, and it's not about me. You understand?
Yeah.
I left corporate Bahamas last year, January. And I was supposed to leave the year before. But I was like, no, sir. I have a mortgage. I have children in college. I started listening off all the reasons. I was like, no, I am not doing it. I'm talking to God, you know. I'm not doing it.
Been there.
And so he's like, okay, don't do it. And so the September that year, when I should have been off my job, I was like, boy, this year really went well. But that October, I get knocked right down, right? And when I got knocked down, the reality hit me. You're only here for a defined period of time. You're not alive forever and ever and ever. And that's when I made up my mind that I would be obedient. And I gave notice on my job that I would be leaving in January. And I can tell you, last year was nothing but a faith walk, right?
Well, you tell it.
And listen to me. And this is just honoring the fact that God provides.
Yeah.
Because I have not experienced lack.
Amen.
In any way.
Amen.
I've not, like, there have been times when I sat down on my bed and I was like, listen, homeboy, right? It's me and you, and this what you tell me to do. I am not doing this because it's not about me. This is what you have instructed me to do.
Right.
Now I'm doing my part. You gotta do your part. Yeah, I need you to do your part. And he has shown up every single time. And so it has solidified to me that the work that I do is important, and the work that I do is making an impact, and it's changing lives. And I will tell you, I get attacks. I get attacks out of this world. You understand? And so I have people who pray for me. I have people who are, I have intercessors who are just praying, because I am under attack. I am under attack. And I realize that the same way that God guides and protects me, the enemy is trying his hardest to distract me and to pull me. And so I just give honor, and I give honor and glory to God, because he keeps me and he sustains me even in those trying and tribulating times, right? And people say, oh, you're so crazy with all this godly love. I just prefer to be crazy. I prefer to live. I prefer to live believing that there is a God, believing that God has a purpose for me, believing that I am living out that purpose, than to die not believing and end up.
Man, you of course you start running up and down here, man.
And end up in eternal torment. I just prefer to be on the safe side of the spectrum. And I just prefer to believe, and I believe that nothing in this life just happens. Me being here with you is not happenstance. Me being anywhere is not happenstance. You watching this live today is not happenstance. Nothing in this life just happens. It happens for a reason. And with that belief, I don't worry about people I don't worry about what people say. I don't
Mhm.
worry about what people do.
Mhm.
I don't worry
Mhm.
if they undercut. I don't
Yeah.
worry if they promote. I don't
Yeah.
worry if
Yeah.
they close the door.
Mhm.
I don't worry if they open the door.
Yes.
I don't worry
Yes.
who blocking. I don't worry who talking. I
Man,
don't
you
have
talking in here,
time.
man. You
Listen,
talking in here.
Tamika, if I sat down and I worried about that, that's gonna distract me from
Yes.
what God. You could say what you
Yes.
want to say, but me.
Yeah.
You could, and my coach has helped me to do that. She's helped me to really own
Mhm.
who I am as a person and what God has called me to do. So I don't let the detract pull me aside, because I have people who will walk on water for me.
Yes.
I have people who will open doors for
Yes.
me. I have people who follow. I have people who support. I have people who call me, hey, listen, I just want to bless your ministry today. You want to come by? I don't have time to focus on the ones who, no, you are not a part of my tribe. And so as people who are out there leading other people by way of what we say and how we live and how we really embrace our purpose and we move with our purpose, I want to encourage you today to understand that nothing is impossible for God.
Amen.
Absolutely nothing, and your needs
Amen.
can be met.
Amen.
And people say, you know what, Duquesa, I have needs, and sometimes God don't meet them needs. How you meeting God needs?
Okay.
It ain't a one-sided
That's
affair.
right. That's right.
You understand?
That's
How
right.
are you being obedient? Are you following? Each of us has a gifting. God has given you in your chest, in your belly. There's something that God has given you to do. How well are you honoring that? Honor brings honor.
Yeah.
Blessings brings
Yes.
blessings, right?
Yeah.
So how are you honoring what God has called you to do? Now I come to preach today. Sorry, I get a little carried away. When I start talking about this little testimony, I get carried away, and I'm so sorry about that, guys.
No
I just
apologies.
know, like I know that I know that I know
Yeah.
that God got me. And in every bad situation now, I ask myself, what of this situation is going to turn out for my good? How is this situation going to turn out to be something that elevates the platform that God has put in place for me?
That's right. Woo! Listen, I know where you're coming from. And same thing with me. Last year, 2019,
yeah.
Last year, for a while, I've worked at Leisure Travel and Tours for 11 years at the time. And it's been up and it's been down. But I've learned so much. And I appreciate everything that I've learned there. And you know, when your time is now come to an end, you can feel it, you can sense it.
Yeah.
And that's how it was for me. And it was a battle because, first of all, you saying now you getting on your own. You ain't getting no residual income. you get bank payments you gotta make.
Right.
You have a family you gotta take care of. You have other needs you're obligated to. And how are you gonna do this again? But God. And I sat on it and I thought about it and I toiled with it. And I said, you know something? My obligation to God is greater than Leisure Travel and Tours. And so when it came down to it, I gave the notice and I said, you know, my time is now come to an end, my season, it's time for me to venture on into something else. Came and went full-time into my company, Doves Enterprise, and listen to me. When I say the struggle was real, it was real. But in the midst of that, God still kept me. He still provided. I never went without. It may not have been what I wanted, but it was enough.
Yes.
And the more that I continue to keep going and to help other people, to bring other people into whatever it is that they need to do, God just opened up small avenues.
That's right.
And guess what? Regardless of how small it was, I was grateful. I said, thank you, Lord. And that just led to one thing to another to another. And so, listen, I want to encourage those of you that are thinking about stepping out into your own. Be God-led first.
Yes. Please.
If you don't talk to nobody else, talk to God first. Make sure that's what you and God, that's what God wants you to do. Because you're just doing it on self because you're having issues on the job and you do it, it's not going to work. That's complete failure. talk to God. God, whether it's me going on to another job or me going fully into my business, I need you to confirm it. I need you to set it up, work it out so that the transition will be smooth and easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so once you do that, like Miss Dean said, you have to have a plan.
Yeah.
Where you going without a plan? What you gonna do without a plan? You just can go there and just whatever comes to mind.
No, you can't wing it. You can't wing it. You can't wing it.
You have to have a plan, and not just any throw together plan. You have to strategically listen. This is what I want to do. This is my time frame. This is how I believe I want to do it. It's not going to go according to the plans you have,
Yeah.
But present it to God and leave it. As He gives it to you, He will make the provisions.
Yes, and He does. He does. Now I can tell you, because I promised transparency today, right? I want to share with the person who is really considering this entrepreneur journey, who wants to leave their 9 to 5 to their all the time, because seriously, it is just all the time. Once you leave a job that's paying you weekly, monthly, however, and you on your own time, on your own hustle, trust me, it's no longer a 9 to 5. It's your everyday, all the time, constant. Mm-hmm. And I want you to understand that there are some heavy responsibilities that come with that. Now, when I started thinking about leaving my job and coming into working for myself, it was actually 3 years before I got the message from God to say, this is your time. I didn't listen, but it was 3 years. I began to prepare. And so if you're thinking about stepping away, I want to encourage you to prepare. And so at the end of that 3rd year, God said, move. And I said, nobody, I got bills. I got things to do. I ain't doing, and I don't have enough money saved yet. So I know I can't do it, right? But it took 5 years for me to really solidify the plan. The 4th year, God said, move. I said, no. The 5th year, God said, move. I say, I gone, right? Now, you have to be able to start. You have to prepare. You can't just think today, I leave in my job, and a month later you leave. Unless you have some kind of nest that you could fall back on. Let me tell you something. Listen to me very carefully. Here's what I did. And I ain't ashamed, right? When I left my job, I said, you know what, Donnie? You got to cut back, right? So here's what I did. I turned off my cable. I only have internet in my house. I turn off my cable. I turn off all my house phones, because what I need them for, I talking to everybody on my cell phone, right? So when I turn off my cable, that's $50. When I turn off, we had 2 house phones, that's another $50. That's $100. I save a month. In addition, I cut back a lot on not eating all crap. No, I go to the grocery store, I cook, and that's enough food for 2-3 days. We eat that. You understand? I cut out driving from here, there, and everywhere, because that's gas you have to put inside your car. So you have to be wise strategically. I used to travel a lot. I cut back on the amount of traveling that I did as well. Wherever I saw that I could pull those dollars back, so I don't have to spend them out, I did that. There's so many expenses we have today where we just wasting our money. We just throwing our money away just to say we have it. And we say for comfort and convenience. Comfort and convenience will not help us accomplish our dreams and our goals. Your comfort is not going to help you. You understand? So you have to be willing to sacrifice in the short term so that in the long term, you have a greater benefit. So create your plan, cut back as much as you can. Let me tell you, people thought I was crazy. 1 year, I worked for organization free. Because, and when I say free, this is when I was part-time doing I had my full-time job, but part-time I was coaching as a corporate coach, right? And I called up this organization and I said, hey, listen, I'm being certified as a John Maxwell coach. And as I learned, I'd like to implement. Can I work with your organization? I'd come in and teach our leaders free of charge. For a solid year, I went into that organization every month. And I gave that organization training for a year. And I said to myself, you crazy, right? But let me show you how God does work. Because I say I'm doing it for my training. That's for my benefit. Now they win because they get free training. I win because I get experience. Fast forward 4 years. And that's last year. I made from that organization last year, maybe $13,000. Right? Because now they're paying me to come into their organization to train.
They didn't know your work.
They didn't know my work. You understand? So don't count, going out there, building your experience. Everybody, you know what? And it's okay to do something for free. Don't be no fool.
That's right.
But if it's gonna benefit you in some way, consider it. It don't be no fool. I went in and I gave them 2 hours a month for 12 months. That's 24 hours in a year that I gave them free. But what it yielded me, and they still hire me.
That's
and so
right.
on an ongoing basis, I get jobs from this particular client. So as you're building, practice your skill. Find someone that you could align with who will allow you to practice and hone your skill. And I can tell you that organization has referred me to many other organizations.
Amen.
So we can't just look at it as, I'm doing something for free. You getting benefit. And you will get more benefit down the road if you are consistent, if you give more value than is expected of you, if you are competent and show that you are an expert at what you do.
Yeah.
This thing go with sense.
It does.
And so when we talk about planning, it ain't just about writing out a plan. It's about making sure that you hone and practice your skills. It's making sure that you make impact in your community. I worked in the community. I made sure people knew that I was out there, who Duquesa is, what I am about. Yes, I've made many mistakes in my life. I've been in relationships that I shouldn't have been in. I was in a marriage where it was a domestic situation. I've sat on careers that sucked the life out of me. I've made mistakes. And I had to come to Jesus with those mistakes and say, you know what? Every single human being makes mistakes.
That's right.
But how do I become better? How do I become a better version of me?
Yes.
How do I be the best that I could possibly be and use the mistakes of my past to create a wonderful future for me, but also for the people that I touch? Don't be limited by your mistakes.
My God.
You are not your past. You are not the mistake that you have made. The mistake that you made is giving you a platform to help someone understand why they shouldn't do what you have done in the past. And we can't be ashamed of our mistakes.
No.
You understand? When we could share that I've been in that situation and this is how I come through, we transform lives.
Yeah.
You understand? So don't be ashamed of your past. Your past is a setup for a comeback.
Yeah.
And you can always become a better person. So now when they talk with me, I say, you keep talking about what I used to be. I focus on who I am and where I go in.
Hello.
You understand? And because of who I used to be, I could be who I am today and make the impact that I make in your life and in the lives of the people that I touch. So I don't even concern myself about what used to be, because before Paul was Paul, he was Saul, and he was persecuting the church. He was out there killing Christians, not believing in God, chasing down Jesus, trying to kill him. Before he was Paul. And so if a man could come from that position and become one of the greatest apostles of the Bible time, you and me can certainly share what we used to be and pick up who we are called to be.
My God. Woo! She can cost me run up and down in here, y'all. Woo! Man.
I done. Head over.
Man, listen. Oh my God. Listen. I can't even add
This
nothing
ain't a
onto
joke.
that. No.
And this ain't a game. You understand? It's not a joke and it's not a game. You are here for a reason. You are here for a purpose. Your circumstances, whatever they are, whether you are financially broke right now and don't have a dollar, whether you have been abused and misabused in your youth, your young days, whether someone who has been responsible for nurturing and taking care of you didn't do that job, whether you've been fired before, whether you have had relationships with men or women and they betrayed you. This could be platonic relationships, this could be romantic relationships. If you have been a fornicator, an adulterer, a liar, a murderer, all of those things, if you have been there, but you have come to the place of repentance, you have been washed fresh and clean. And once you are washed fresh and clean and you live according to what the word has dictated that you should be, because by your actions they know you, right? And so if your actions today are much better than what they were in the past, and they are consistently living the godly values and virtues that as a person who believes in God is required to do, don't be worried about what you look at the people who have been in prison. Look at the people who have made like big mistakes, who've come back and made a difference in the world itself. And has transformed lives. So please, I encourage you, if there's a gifting inside of you, if there's a purpose God has placed in you and you've identified it, if there's a dream inside of you that just reoccur and you can't get rid of this dream, God is telling you to do something. Act on it.
Yeah.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Claim it. Do something with it, because it ain't going away. It can keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back.
Right.
And you will keep telling yourself, I'm not enough. I don't have what it takes. I don't have the resources. You don't need it. All you need to do is accept that this is what God has asked me to do. And if I put myself in the position to learn, to grow and be the best version of myself, align myself with people who have experience.
Yeah.
And if I honor the God that created me, He will open doors that will take me along the path that I am supposed to go. Don't focus on nothing else. That's all you need to focus on.
That's right.
That is it.
Amen.
I finished for 2 now.
Amen. Listen, we can go on for hours upon hours, but if there's nothing that you take away from this today, know that you have a purpose.
Yeah.
There's a plan for each and every one of us. It's up to us whether we want to accept it and allow God to use us to bring it to fruition.
And listen, this one here is for the ladies. If you are interested in really reclaiming your power and rebuilding your life, on July 13, I'm actually holding an event called Sit, Sip, and Chat. It's an intimate gathering of women where we talk about sister, stand up again, and 6 powerful steps that you can use to reclaim your life. It's not a free event. It's $15. And for $15, you get breakfast as well as the book, Sister Stand Up Again. It's going to be held at the Meeting Lounge. Like I said, right now, there may be 13 seats available. So if you are interested, inbox me or let Tamika know. And we talk about the 6 steps that I took to take me from sitting on my bathroom floor with a bottle of juice and a bottle of tablets ready to take my own life to the place where I am now today, the proprietor of Duquesa D and group of companies that has under its umbrella Transition Mentoring Program. It has under its umbrella DDOGC Consulting Solutions, GD Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group, and Decadence Bakery. Listen, if you are interested in learning how to come back from a situation that wiped you out, that's the place to be. Like I said, it's a $15 investment in you. You get the book, you get breakfast, but more than that, you get to fellowship with other women who will be a part of your network moving forward to help you get through some of those difficult situations.
And that's July 13th.
July 13th. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to you being in the room.
Awesome.
And I look forward to how God will use me to help you be all that you've been purposed to be.
Amen. Awesome. Wonderful. So thank you so much, Miss Dean. Oh my God. Listen, again, you've blessed me, encouraged me, and you've motivated me. And I'm sure she did for those of you that were tuning in. And we just want to let you know, like we said earlier, you matter.
Yes, you do.
There is purpose in you. There's life in you. There's giftings in you. Whatever it is that you can find to do, do it. Whatever your passion is, do it. Consult God. Pray about it, turn it to Him, let Him lead, direct you in the ways that you need to go about it. There are always persons that can assist, that can contribute. Let us know we are here, and we are more than happy and willing to do whatever it is that we can to help you. You can find Miss Dean. You can look for her many pages. And like she said, if you can't remember all of them, just look for her name. And you can start there. We're on Facebook. Does Enterprise, Tamika Campbell, Duquesa D, whatever. Tell somebody. Listen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we hope that you are blessed. And we look forward to seeing you July 13th at the Meeting Lounge, where you can continue to be motivated, strengthened, encouraged, and blessed. Tell somebody, share the video. Be blessed and have an awesome, wonderful day.
Take care. God bless you.